Welcome back to another video from our Dream in the Woods. We're in the process of milling all the lumber for a timber frame barn that we plan on building the early part of the summer. It's going good. We're about 50% through our milling of the timbers and all the bonus material, but we're starting to run out of logs, maybe more than starting. We are running out of logs, so let's do a little inventory here. This log deck here used to have 25 logs, down to 2. Should be able to make 2 more. We're looking for 6x8 by 16s, and both those logs should make one of those. That'll bring us up to 20 of that size, of 14 to 16 foot lengths, and we need 40, so we'll be right at the halfway mark there. Just a couple of 12s left. Variety of things we need in the 12-inch or 12-foot length, and those will either make 6x6s or 6x8s. So that brings us to our long logs. These are all 21 to 22 feet long. And what to do with these exactly, there is 13 logs here. Some of them are pretty small, 10-inch on the small end. This is all small ends here. So those all make 6x6 material. And then I'm also looking for 6x8 and a few, well, not a few, quite a few 6x10s in the timber cut list. Nice group of logs here. And I think the decision on these is that I'm going ahead and cut these into 2 pieces and try to get 2 timbers out of each log. And then some of these butt pieces that are a little bigger, I think there's some dandies in there, maybe trying to get more than 1 timber out of that. So my goal out of the 17 logs that we have left is to get 30 timbers or 30 pieces. That'll add to our total that we already have 55 already milled, so we'll have 85 pieces, and that's 85 out of 133 total timbers that need to be milled for the barn. So it's a lot. That'll get us percentage-wise up there quite a ways, and then we'll have to start coming up with plan B and C. This is plan B. These are the logs that I kind of rejected because the small end was too small for a 6x6, but there are plenty of logs in here that'll make a 12, a 10, or an 8, 6x6 or 6x8. So my guess out of this pile that there's another 20 timbers at least that I'll be able to cut down and utilize. So that'll get us towards the finish mark. Plan C is to order another load of logs and maybe 2 loads of logs. So I'll have a better idea after we're through these 17 logs that we have remaining about where we're at. I've already talked to the logger that got the last load and notified him that I'm interested in at least 1 load, and so I need to kind of call him and update him on what I am looking for. Fortunately, he can cut me a custom load of logs, so I could get 25s, 16s, 32s, and the quality of logs that I got out of the last load, I'm confident that I can make it to the finish mark with the logs that he provided. Unfortunately, with this warm weather, he's shut down. No one's in the woods working because it's too muddy, and there's road restrictions for the logging trucks on the county roads and smaller roads right now. And so we're probably not going to get those logs until probably May, which is fine. April, hopefully the weather cooperates and we'll start doing more dirt work on the barn as far as getting utilities in there and some more concrete work. So more to come on that. But today, I think I'm going to start on those logs, throw some up on the mill, cut them down to the sizes I need, and start milling some timbers. Let's get to it. Okay, here's log number 1. It's a 22 footer, almost exactly 22 feet. It's 11 inches on the small end. It's nice meaty log, straight. So it's one of those things where I could get a 16-foot 6x8 out of it, which I need, but I think, and I don't know, this is just me speculating, that my time is better spent cutting this in two and getting 2 pieces. So this is the 12-foot mark, and I think I can get a 6x10 out of it, and then come down here and then get a 6x8 by 10 foot out of the second one, which are 2 pretty good sized meaty pieces. And then on top of that, get some 1x6 material, 1.5 by 8 material, that are 10 foot long, and I'm still looking for some 2x6 material. So plenty of stuff out of this shorter timbers as far as bonus material that'll be useful for the overall project. So cut this down and get to it. Okay, that first piece milled down to a 6x8. Not perfectly centered down here, but that'll do. 10 footer. So the next piece got marked out there, 6x10 by 12 feet. That will become the beam on one of the side wings. So that calls for a 6x10 by 12. So looks like I should be able to get that pretty easily, but who knows what the log will give you. It has the final say for sure. So get back to it here and mill up the second one here. So what I do here is I kind of bring it up to the mark, and then I eyeball what I think I can get as far as a piece of bonus material. It has to be 6 inches wide, so I don't really think I can get much more than a 1-inch piece. And so I just bring it up a little more than an inch, give it a try. So then I've had some people ask me about this jig. This is just a 1-inch piece of black hard plastic. It has a name, but I'm not sure. But I bought it for this purpose. And so then I just put that on top of the log. And then I can tell when it hits. And then I kind of just, Eric and I have noticed on this one, we need to go just a tad bit below to get our 1 inch out of it. And it's that simple. I think it does save some time. I don't even bother measuring anymore. Yeah, just a tad bit over 1 inch. So from here, this piece goes over to the edger and then gets ran through to a 6-inch piece. Only problem is I don't have an edger, so it goes on the floor and then comes back on the mill to edge on the mill. But it'd be dreamy to have an edger. So I was pretty easily able to get the 6x10 out of there. So I'd already made that cut to a 6x10. I'm gonna save this piece and cut it down now before I get it off there. Try not to slam my fingers while I'm at it. There we go. So I'll drop the beam down off the mill and then mill up a couple boards out of this top piece, this bonus piece. So first log, nice 6x10 by 12 feet, and then one 6x8 by 10 feet. So pretty good. 2 timbers and quite a bit of bonus material. I got several 1x's and 1.5 inch for rafters, not rafters, floor joists, and then whatever I get out of this piece here. So keep going. Well, I got log number 2 up here. It was a 22 footer, 10 inches on the small end. So the way the cut list is, I'm trying to get a 6 by 8 by 10 out of that piece, so I have it kind of drawn out. It's not, it looks pretty straight, so hopefully that'll work. And then this is a 6 by 6 by 12, and here again it's not a 10-inch diameter. Is about 6 by 6 is about all you can get out of that. So and that has to be a good log all the way through to do it. So yeah, a little cold out here today. We got about kind of gusty winds going on, and it's blowing the sawdust in my face, which that isn't too much fun. And it's about 25 degrees. So nice evening besides the wind. Actually, partly sunny skies is a treat. So let me get back to it. Well, it's the next day. Actually, it's the next afternoon. It got cold. It was, I don't know, 20 degrees and blowing 15 to 20, goes to 25. So it's warmed up a little bit, but it's still gusty. Wind chill factor right now is between 10 and 15 degrees. So it's chilly, a little too chilly for these video cameras and a little bit too chilly for me with that wind. I decided that I'm not going to videotape or mill during when the wind, this wind is blowing the wrong way, so it blows that sawdust right into my face, and it's just not pleasant. So, but I do have another project going, so I can go outside and show you what I'm up to. So this is where all those extra logs were. I cleaned that out. The only thing that's left here is the mother tree. And yeah, 3 big pieces there. Couldn't move that with a skid steer. Just with that crooked, it may not be able to tell there, but it's crooked enough that it was just sliding around on the forks and wouldn't stay on. So what I'm going to try to do is make 10 to 12 foot pieces that are at least 10 inches, 9.5 to 10 inches on the small end, and straight enough to make a timber out of. So like on this one, I think this end might do it. but the other end, yeah, it's hard to tell with it like that, but it's crooked. Well, it's still blowing, gusting, but I'm working my way through those logs. Some of those are questionable as far as the size goes, but those are all 10 and 12 footers. And I haven't really been keeping track of which is which, but I'm up to close to 20 there, and I have one more pile left to cut down. And this is the pile that's left. Definitely a few in there that won't make a saw log, but some that will. And that crooked one there, that one bows down. And then a few good ones, and then just a few that don't work. So yeah, if I can get another 5 or 6 or 7 out of this group, that'd be good. And this is my reject pile, so this will just become firewood, which should be pretty good. Firewood all dug for, most of it's been sitting for 2 years, and so it's already started to do some drying. Bark's starting to come off, so it'll make good firewood. Considering the pile that was here, I don't think that that's too bad. And like I said before, if I was logging out here and I know what I know now, I'd cut a lot different. So anyway, that's what we got. Well, this is the final haul of those logs. I think we're just short of 30 logs. I'm not sure that all of them will make a 6x6, but lots of them will. So that makes me recalculate my thinking as far as what I have and what I need in the future as far as buying a little logs and what type. So I study that spreadsheet quite a bit. In fact, every time I update it, I think about it, look at it, and calculate. So yeah, pretty good haul, and good to have that broken down and know what I have. The smallest diameter there is about 9 inches, and that barely squeaks a 6x6, maybe with a little bit of wane on the first little bit there. So, but anyway, more work to do. It's good. This mud bog here that was all squishy and worried about shutting us down is frozen solid now. So when you drive over it with the skid steer, It is a bumpy, jarry mess, which we kind of knew that would happen, but kind of is what it is. At least we're still functional cutting wood. I think I have a little time left tonight. I think I'm going to grab a long log there and saw one before I go in. Well, this is the log I grabbed. I actually grabbed it out of the long pile, but it's kind of a good example of what that stack of logs that I just cut is going to be like, kind of just barely's. So I cut it into a 12 and a 10, and this one here just barely makes a 6x6, and that is 8 by 9. So I don't think that there's very many 8s in there, but there is some 9s, so that'll just kind of be an example of what that deck of logs, all 10 and 12 footers, is going to be like to cut. Just barely's, and then if there's any crook to it, then it won't work. So, but worth cutting. Well, there's 4 passes, so not a lot of messing around. Some wane here, but not too bad, acceptable. And 6x6 by 10. I think that'll work good out of that stack. It does make it pretty fast when there's no extra material. That's my slabs I took off there. So yeah, kind of hopeful that those will all make 6x6s. That does have to be a pretty straight log, and this one was. Some of those maybe aren't quite as straight, but I would say the majority of them, 3/4, will make a 6x6. So that's good news. Next up, I'll try to make another 6x6 by 12. This one does have a little bit of a, it's not quite as straight as that first log, but try to get that done. Well, there's a 6x6 by 12. Again, pretty efficient on the passes. I only made 5 passes, just a tiny bit of wane. So that's a nice looking one. Tried to make one extra 1-inch piece, but it didn't make it. So that's the extras out of that log, and 2 nice timbers. So that gives me a lot of hope. Those logs that I cut to length, the 10-foot and 12-foot, will make a 6x6. Most of them, not all of them. So anyway, that puts things in a different calculation as far as what I need and what I'm going to be able to get out of what I just cut today. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Kind of a weird day being so cold and windy, but I'm happy with what I accomplished. That needed to get done, and yeah, and I don't really feel like I get anything done unless I milled a log, so I got 1 log done. So anyway, we'll catch you with the next video. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and of course appreciate those comments. So we'll catch you with the next one. Have a great night.